Hello friends, and welcome to this tutorial on getting started with Sage and Sage Notebook. At the end of this tutorial, you will be able to know what Sage and Sage Notebook are, start a Sage shell or notebook, create new worksheets, know about the menu options available and the cells in the worksheet, evaluate cells, create and delete cells, navigate them, make annotations in the worksheet, use tab completion, use code from other languages in the cell, use the offline help available. To start with, what is Sage? Sage is a free open source mathematical software. Sage can do a lot of math stuff for you, including but not limited to algebra, calculus, geometry, cryptography, graph, theory, among other things. It can also be used as an aid in teaching and research in any of the areas that Sage supports. So let us start Sage now. We are assuming that you have Sage installed on your computer now. If not, please visit the page sagemath.org/doc/tutorial/introduction.html/installation for the tutorial on how to install Sage. So now you can open the terminal. So let us now learn how to start Sage. So type on the terminal Sage and hit enter. This should start a new Sage shell with the prompt Sage. So now we can type all the commands that Sage supports here. But Sage comes bundled with much more elegant tool called Sage Notebook. So what is Sage Notebook? Sage Notebook provides a web-based user interface to use Sage. So once we have a Sage Notebook server up and running, all we want is a browser to access the Sage functionality. For example, there is an official instance of Sage Notebook server running at http://sagenb.org. You can visit that page, create an account there and start using Sage. So all you need is just a modern browser to use Sage and nothing else. The Sage Notebook also provides a convenient way of sharing and publishing our work, which is very handy for research and teaching. However, we can also run our own instances of Sage Notebook servers on all computers. If we have a local installation of Sage, to start the notebook server, you have to just type notebook and brackets. This will start the Sage Notebook server. If we are starting the notebook server for the first time, we are prompted to enter the password for the admin. Type the password and make a note of it. After the Sage automatically starts a browser page for you with the notebook opened. If it doesn't automatically start a web page browser, check if the notebook server started and there were no problems. If so, open your browser and in the address bar, type the URL shown in the instruction upon running the notebook command on the Sage prompt. So, you can type http://localhost:8000. In our case, it is the point. And the notebook command gives an instruction telling you to open the browser to localhost:8000. If you are not logged in yet, it shows the notebook homepage and text boxes to type the username and password. You can use the username admin and the password you gave while starting the notebook server for the first time. There are also links that recover forgotten password and create new accounts. Once we are logged in with the admin account, we can see the notebook admin page. A notebook can contain a collection of Sage Notebook worksheets, and worksheet is basically a working area. This is where we enter all the Sage commands on the notebook. The admin page lists all the worksheets created. On the topmost part of this page, we have the links to various pages. The home link takes us to the admin home page. The published links takes us to the page which lists all the published worksheets. The log link has the complete log of all the actions we did on the notebook. We have the settings link where we can configure our notebook and notebook server and create and manage accounts. We have a link to help. Upon clicking, opens a new window with the complete help of Sage. The entire documentation of Sage is supplied with Sage for offline references, and this help link is the way to get into it. Then we can report bugs about Sage by clicking on report a problem link, and there is a link to sign out of the notebook. We can create a new worksheet by clicking new worksheet link. Sage prompts you for a name for the worksheet. Let us name the worksheet as NB tutorial. Now we have our first worksheet, which is empty. Every Sage command must be entered in the cell. A cell is equivalent to the prompt on console. When we create a new worksheet, to start with we will have one empty cell. Let us try out some math here. So you can type the 2 plus 2, then 57.1 raised to 100. The cap operator is used for exponentiation. If you observe carefully, we typed two commands, but the output of only last command was displayed. By default, each cell displays the last result of only the last operation. We have to use print statement to display all the results we want to display. Now we perform more operations. We want more cells. So how do we create a new cell? It is very simple. As we hover our mouse below or above the existing cells, we see a blue line. And by clicking on this new line, we can create a new cell. We have a cell and we have to type some commands in it. So type matrix, then within brackets 1, 2, 3, 4, then caret, again in brackets -1. But how do we evaluate that cell? Pressing shift along the enter evaluate the cell. Alternately, we can also click on the evaluate link and evaluate the cell given below. After we create many cells, we may want to move between the cells. To move between the cells, use up arrow and down arrow keys. Also, clicking on the cell will let you edit that particular cell. To delete a cell, clear the contents of a cell and hit backspace. If you want to add annotations in the worksheet itself, on the blue line that appears on hovering the mouse around the cell, hold shift and click the line. This creates what you see is what you get cell. So you can type in the editable cell. This text contains both the bold text and also italicized text. Then you can type it also contains bulleted list and colon. Then it also contains enumerate list. In the same cell, we can display typeset math using LaTeX-like syntax. So you have to type below that in $, then /int _0 raised to /infty space e raised to power -x in curly braces, then /dx and again a dollar symbol. We enclose the math to be typeset within $and $, or $and $$ as in LaTeX. We can also obtain help for a particular Sage command, our function within the worksheet itself, by using a question mark following the command. So you can type, for example, sign question mark and hit enter. You have to press shift enter. Evaluating this cell gives me the entire help for the sign function inline on the worksheet itself. Similarly, we can also look at the source code of such command or function using double question mark. So for example, you can type matrix question mark, then press shift and enter. Sage Notebook also provides the feature for auto-completion. To auto-complete a command, type first few unique characters and hit tab. So you can type PLO, then tab. To list all the methods that are available for a certain variable or a data type, we can use the variable name followed by the dot to access the methods available on it. So you can type s is equal to within single quotes hello, then s dot rep, then tab. So the output produced by each cell can be one of the three states. It can be either the full output or truncated output or hidden output. The output area will display error if the Sage code was wrote in the cell did not successfully execute. So you can type a comma b is equal to 10. The default output we obtain now is a truncated output. Clicking at the left of the output area, when the mouse pointer turns to hand, gives us the full output. Clicking again makes the output hidden and it cycles. Lastly, Sage supports a variety of languages and each cell on the worksheet can contain code written in a specific language. It is possible to instruct Sage to interpret the code in the language we have written. This can be done by putting %sign or modula followed by the name of the language. For example, to interpret the cell as Python code, we put as the first line in the cell %, then Python. Similarly, we have %sh for shell scripting, that is %fortran for fortran, %gap for gap, and so on. Let us see how this works. Say I have an integer. The type of the integer in default Sage mode is a is equal to 1, then type within brackets a, so the output will be type sage.rings.integer.integer or type within colon int. We see that integers are Sage integers. Now let us put %Python as the first line of the cell and execute the same code snippet. So you can type there in the cell %Python, then a is equal to 1, then type a. So you can also get the output as type within single quotes int. Now we see that the integer is a Python integer. Why? Because now we introduce Sage to interpret that cell as Python code. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial, and this we have learned to know about Sage and Sage Notebook, start Sage and Sage Notebook, create accounts and start using the notebook, create new worksheets, create the menus available on the notebook, evaluate cells in the worksheet, create new cells, delete the cells and navigate around the cells, make annotations in the worksheet, use tab completion, embed code of other scripting languages in the cell. So here are some self-assessment questions for you to solve. First one, each cell in a Sage worksheet displays the result of only the last operation, true or false. Second one, how do you evaluate a cell using the keyboard keys? Shift along with enter, then control key along with enter, then alt along with enter. Now the answers. The first one, the answer is true. By default, each cell displays the result of only the last operation. Second one, you have to press shift along with enter to evaluate a particular cell. So we hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful. Thank you.